Technology is important for learners of the 21st century as they are born consuming media, they are engaged by technology, and technology is their present and future. Technology should be welcomed and appreciated within the classroom in order to engage students in their learning, encourage resilience and creativity, and create connections between school life and the world outside. Teachers need to have an understanding of the value and application of technology within the classroom in order to enrich student learning and participation. Students have access to all kinds of information through technology, and it is the teacher's role in the classroom to guide them in how to use and remake this content in order to understand it. The students in our classroom are known as digital natives. They crave interactivity, they learn through games and creating, and benefit from having control over their own learning. Technology allows students to have control over their learning, allows them to take risks and to find solutions to their own problems. It allows them to think creatively, to learn interactively, and to see purpose in what they learn at school. I decided to look at Microsoft Excel, Photor, Comic Life, and Stix Animation in order to gain experience for myself on the value of each program. Stix is an open-ended program that allows students to animate stick figures and create animations. Students are able to move the body parts by clicking on the joints and moving them as they wish before taking a snapshot and moving to the next frame to continue the movement. Students can view the onion skins of their figure from the previous frame in order to make adjustments to their new figure and frame. Students can insert shapes, objects, and backgrounds to create their animation. Stix animations could be used in the classroom to produce text, look at body movements, to look at symmetry in certain movements, or when developing oral language. Students could explain to each other what steps they took to create their Stix movement. I decided to look at Stix animations with a grade 2 child. I showed her how to navigate her way around the program and let her play around with it. I noticed by doing this she was able to gain a better understanding of the program as she came across problems that she had to figure out herself. She quickly figured out that she needed to make smaller adjustments on the figure from one frame to the next for the movements in the animation to be smoother. The only negative I found with the student using the program was the time it took to make only a small movement. Being in grade 2, the student seemed to lose interest after a while as the animation took time and the student couldn't see much progress. This is a valuable program in the class for student-centered learning as they learn to navigate their way around the program in order to create an animation. I would suggest it for older students as they are more capable of keeping with the timely task. Photor is a photo editing program that allows students to upload images and edit, collage, or use them in a design. Students are able to change filters, brightness, contrast, and much more, as well as crop, add stickers, or insert text and backgrounds. Photor could be used in the classroom in a variety of subject areas. It could be used in literacy, especially in the early years, to develop stories with a beginning, middle, and end. In the middle years, photo collages could be used when writing procedural texts. Students could upload images and insert text underneath. In maths, photo could be used in counting. Students could take photos of objects which represent different numbers before making a collage that demonstrates their knowledge of number order. I decided to use Photor with a grade 2 student to create an imaginative text. The student used her Barbies and took snapshots of them in different positions to tell a story. She uploaded the images and created an organised collage that would allow her to use oral language to recall the story. This task could have been richer if the student had added captions or speech bubbles to show what the characters were saying or doing. I found Photor a valuable tool as it allowed the student to create an imaginative story through play instead of worrying about spelling and writing. In a classroom, I would extend this by printing off the story plan and getting the students to write the sentences underneath about what is happening in each scene. Microsoft Excel is a fantastic open-ended software program that can be used for collecting and representing data. Excel is actually quite a simple tool to use and could be very useful when used within the classroom. Microsoft Excel would be especially useful within maths. It allows students to represent information and compare ways of representing data. Data can be easily transformed into graphs in just a few steps. Similarly, graphs can be transformed into other graphs quickly and easily in order to read. I used Excel to represent data and interpret it with a grade 2 student. This student absolutely loves Shopkin toys and has collected many of them, so we decided to sort them into colour groups. After doing so, we named each group after its colour and made some observations about what we could see. The student was able to easily enter her data and then was able to highlight the information and select the graph key in order to create a bar graph. We also decided to represent the data as a pie graph as well in order to compare the two ways of representing information. The student was able to interpret both graphs and noticed that she could use fractional language when talking about the pie graph, whereas the bar graph showed her how many she had. This was a valuable way to get a particular student interested, as she was not working on any step for too long to become bored. She was excited by the completed product, which led her to reflecting on what she had learnt and replaying it to her mum, which allowed me to notice how powerful using Excel can be for rich student learning. Comic Life is an open-ended software that allows students to use various templates to create written text accompanied by images in a comic book style. Comic Life allows students to upload and stylize images, add captions and speech bubbles, and use and create headings and subheadings. Comic Life can be used to create procedural text, information reports, imaginative stories, and customized text. The layout is easy for children to navigate, allowing them to spend more time on creating and producing. Comic Life would be an excellent program to use within the classroom to prompt students on ways to write with different texts. Comic Life could be particularly useful for students who struggle to be imaginative and produce ideas for stories in fictional text, as they can upload images first and create a story relating to the images selected. I decided to use Comic Life with a Year 6 student in order to create a newspaper report relating to her understanding of the book she had recently read, Hunger Games. This activity required the student to demonstrate her understanding of the characters within the book, to identify the main events that occurred, and to look at perspectives of different characters. This enabled the student to think more creatively, and she decided to write the report from the perspective of the Capitol, the powerful district in the novel who disliked and feared the main hero, Katniss. The student was able to demonstrate further knowledge of what she had read by including the headings for other reports within the newspapers that the Capitol might consider important. Comic Life was quite valuable within reading, as it encouraged the student to think about the book she had read from more than one perspective. It enabled her to analyse, comprehend, and infer about the characters and the events within the novel in an engaging and imaginative way. The student was interested in what she was writing and became curious about ways she could make the headings smaller, import photos from the internet, and other things to her document that she was able to explore and come up with a solution for. I have learnt the importance and value of technology in schools through exploring these different software programs. I look forward to learning more about softwares and their possibilities within the classroom, and how I as a teacher can implement them to enhance the learning of my students.